But before we leave, I want you to tell the story of hitting the whale, the boat crash, because that is gnarly. And that's a good point, though, to tell everybody to like, hey, you never,
Yeah,
like,
man. I don't like, it's such a sad thing for me. Um, obviously I wish it never happened.
yeah,
You learn from your mistakes. So yeah, we did our run. We had gone pretty far that day. Over 100 miles total was the trip, right? I'm within a mile of the marina, and it is whale season, but it was kind of the start of whale season. We hadn't seen many whales that day, anyways. We kind of heard them out of their spot, but early on in the season. So I'm driving the boat in. I get within the shipping lane. I'm starting to get pretty close to shore. There's a lot more boats around, right? When you're when you're that far offshore, you don't see that many boats, but you start to get close and become more vigilant as the boat driver. And this is where I will touch on having your gear like tight when you come back. So put all your guns away, get your stuff cleaned up before you're starting to run back in. This came in big because I'm running. I'm at 35 knots, so I'm going pretty fast. And luckily, it's an older whaler that I'm driving. We got twin 225s on it, so we got some push, but going fast, man. And this whale just pops his dorsal, probably less than 20 yards in front of the boat, man. Maybe even less than that. It was just so fast, and I'm looking left to right. I'm seeing boats, and I'm picking my route, and I look back forward, and that's when he pops up. I basically put my hands on the throttle, and and right then is when I hit it. I couldn't pull. I didn't even have enough time to pull back. Luckily, this whale wasn't any higher in the water. If he had been higher, I probably would have died. Just how fast I was going. But what happened was I hit the whale. We ramped off of it. I bet the skag on the starboard side engine, and the impeller got all messed up too. The port side engine cleared the whale. The metal lined keel basically ramped up the whale, and I feel horrible, man.
no, I know, yeah,
this happens, right? This happens.
Yeah,
Guys hit turtles, guys hit dolphins. Dolphins not so much, but like guys hit. I was talking to some buddies from Hawaii, and they're like, yeah, dude, we hit turtles sometimes. It's so unfortunate. Anyway, so we ramp off this whale, and I hit the T-top. It's just all stainless steel, and I get knocked out. And I come to, my buddies are over me. They're like, dude, you all right? And I'm like, my first question was, I'm like trying to breathe because I got the wind knocked out of me too. I'm like, is the boat okay? And I'm just looking down. I'm on all fours at this point. I'm looking down, and there's just a pool of blood under my face. So luckily, I'm a medical, professional, but so I went to work that night. Come to find out, I got a concussion, and I had to so my buddy stitched me up that night too. Went to work just all messed up. I was dazed. I have a pretty funny picture. Whole face is swollen. My nose, I think I broke my nose. I never actually got a diagnosis on it, but it was all crackling in there for a few weeks, the cartilage and stuff. And my lip, so my tooth went through my lip on the bottom side, and so that's where I had to get stitches. The whale, I don't know what happened to the whale. I'd like to imagine that it was fine. We kind of ramped it. We didn't like crash into it. I didn't really see like too much blood in the water. I think there was a little bit, but yeah, man, it's just a super unfortunate event. And we fixed the boat up luckily, and got back to the dock just fine. But man, it was just such a scary thing. So every time I ran the boat after that, dude, I was just like,
another throttle.
Oh, dude. Well, we'd run out some pretty rough stuff, so I had to keep my hand off the throttles. But yeah, if I could, I was hovering, dude.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't worry about to be honest, like, I wouldn't worry about the whale. Like, I've seen animals get propped, and I know, like, the dolphins, but I also know whales, like, their blubber line is so big, so thick, like, I'm sure, I mean, I'm not a vet, but in my minimal experience, it's probably fine. It probably was like, what the fuck was that? But yeah, that's, and got a nick.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd like to imagine the whale swam off and went away with nothing more than some flesh wounds, and they're healed up by now. So yeah, I believe it was a humpback. That's what we have there.
yeah.
It was a big animal, dude. He was a big whale. Like just his dorsal fin was popped up, and part of his spine there, or the top of him, and just that was popped up, and the boat was pretty wide. I'm trying to think. That boat was man,
8'6".
8 feet wide. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was probably 8 feet wide, and just that portion of him that was popped up was wider than the boat, and that was all I saw of him. So he was a big boy, man. I don't know how long he was, but my guess is he was at least 30 feet long. He was a big boy, so
yeah.
hopefully he was all right. Yeah.